Hey there, Doc. Dr. Scott Doherty from Chirolaunch coming to you from Dana Point out here in Orange County, California. Just enjoying some of the coastline. I've actually got to get up here to the airport. Got a quick flight I got to catch, but I wanted to make a message for you first. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about shiny object syndrome. And I had a client out here who was probably one of the better examples I saw of it. But I've seen quite a bit. Hey there, Doc. Dr. Scott Doherty from Chirolaunch coming to you here from Dana Point in Orange County, California. Just enjoying a little bit of the coastline here and heading up to the airport. Got a flight to catch, but I wanted to leave a quick message with you first. And today I want to talk about shiny object syndrome. The client I was working out here is a prime example of that, but I see it all the time in my travels, that docs who always want that next thing. You know, obviously in chiropractic there's a lot of things you can buy, a lot of things you can play with, a lot of new toys. And when I go to an office, I see them all sitting in the corner in a storage place, not being used. But docs are always looking for that next big thing, that next program, that next ancillary service. Now, don't get me wrong, I am all for ancillary services. I'm all for you having passive sources of revenue that don't require you having hands on a patient. I guess my big thing here is those docs where it becomes a habit, and a bad one. And you know, some docs have tried everything, and probably one of the biggest problems is all those things work, at least for a short period of time. So we put a lot more energy and focus on them. And when they stop working, we just try harder to make them work as opposed to giving up on some things. And probably the worst part about it is when we start looking at those new things, those new shiny objects, we lose sight of the basics. We put our energy into trying to save money from this thing that we bought, trying to make it work, and we lose sight of the basics of the practice, the basic chiropractic portion, rehab, massage, whatever those things might be. Your major profit producers by trying to do this little ancillary service over here that's not really bringing in much money. So those shiny objects, again, just take away your focus. And again, I'm not against them. My advice to you right now, and which was my advice to my client here, is put those things on the back burner. Even if you spent a bunch of money to get that piece of equipment and you've had trouble making it work, put it in storage right now. That doesn't mean you can't bring it out 3, 4, 5 months from now. But get those things out of there. Get them out of your mind. Stop cluttering things up. Stop looking at that next new thing. Get back to basics right now. With the way the economy is, I shouldn't say the economy, the culture, everything about chiropractic right now, you really need to amp up the regular side of your practice. Get your volume up. Take care of the basics, the things that have been producing you income for a long time. And then you can add some stuff back in. But I also see docs that are trying 3 or 4 things at once, and that's definitely a recipe for disaster. And again, we had a lot of ancillary services in my offices, but they were always layered on top of each other. So my advice right now is go back to your basics. Look at where most of your money comes from, and spend your time and energy right now, especially the end of this year, maybe the early part of next year, ramping that up, getting your systems back in place, your procedures back in place to encourage referrals, to get your retention up. And then once that happens and you feel good about that, then add one service, and then maybe another one. But always make sure that those basics are in place. If you lose that, you lose some of your major part of your income by trying to go after the next thing. Obviously, we don't have a very stable practice. So right now, especially, avoid that shiny object syndrome. Doesn't mean don't take advantage of some opportunities that are out there, but don't be looking for everything everywhere. Focus on your basics right now. Again, end of the year is definitely time I like to clean stuff up. So go through, just like going through your closet and taking out clothes you haven't worn in a year, go through your office. Take out some equipment you haven't used in a year. Even if you just use it sparingly, just get rid of it. The energy and focus you spend trying to get a few people on that piece of equipment or into that programming would be better spent just trying to enhance your overall practice, your volume, your chiropractic side. So spend your time and energy there. I guarantee it'll pay rewards. And then sometime next spring, start looking at adding one program and making some ancillary services, some passive income off of that. So any questions about that, put them in the comments down below. I've got to go catch my flight. I'll talk to you soon.